Hello. Oh, I can hear myself. You think I would get time, but not. Also, just let me know if there's a how you're doing with the audio. I'm just trying to get it right. I have a really high pitched, squeaky voice. So of course, as everybody does, using a voice meter to try and even that out. So you don't get annoyed with listening to me. Not that you ever would. Right, it is a beautiful sunny day outside. The weather is good, life is good. So, nothing better than to close the curtains and write some code. So, if you see a code name Copper Monkey, then you know that this is a new project that I'm working on. I've got a mixture of just normal coding, maybe doing some work on real projects, say real open source projects that I just help out with as anybody can. And then I want to start doing some live coding where I'm actually trying to build a project and build something that would be a real life scenario app and something that you would actually put out into production. But I want to show how you can evolve that over time. Quite often with developers, perfect gets in the way. I think there's like perfect is the enemy of good, which means that developers are fretting before they do a PR, they're fretting and worrying before they commit code. There's a whole ecosystem of people who can do continuous integration, continuous delivery, which is, get your code out into the team and allow them to test it in UAT and, if possible, in production, and then clean it up afterwards because you know more, right, once it's out there. When it's on your machine, only you know about it and only you know the facts that are in your head. But when that code is then out in UAT, user acceptance testing, people are playing about with it, and then it goes into production, that's when you get feedback. And that's when you get feedback from the business. It's very rare to actually get good, high quality feedback from a product owner on something that's in UAT, something that's, not out there. Only once it's out there will people go, oh, that doesn't work, or this could be better, or can you do this, or you misunderstood. It needs to be out there. So what I'm trying to get to is I'm going to build something really, really quickly. I am not going to worry about design patterns. I'm not going to worry about systems design. I'm going to worry a little bit about solid, about trying to keep it so that when I do make a big shift, then I can. So I've kind of got in my head already, which is a very bad thing, and I'm going to be careful. But I've kind of got it in my head that what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a little project that takes payments and processes them. So I have a bit of a play about and a little bit of a think. But you can imagine like a payment system where there is a payment process engine which gets the process, pipes it into a queue somewhere. Some payment process system then deals with it. So some event, whether it's a user on a CRM, whether it's some overnight job that runs, it doesn't really matter. It's going to start this process of, right, I need you to process these payments. And a payment might look something like this with a GUID ID, a client response, the date, maybe. I don't know yet. But we need to look at them contracts and kind of iron them out because that's your data flow through the system. And the payment process system is then going to connect to the database and submit it out to the producer, the thing that's going to actually, call out what type of work to do. Then there's a payment system. And then there'll be a third-party system. So probably going to integrate with something like Stripe or something and integrate with their APIs. And that will then be the payment service, echoes out to Stripe or wherever I pick, and that will then process that payment. And of course, once that payment has been processed or not, it will then go all the way back to the payment process service to tell it that it's been done. And that will come back with maybe an ID reference, a success reference, whatever, that this request was processed. Now, a little thing that I like to do, and I'm not going to do it because we're going to learn, is I like to use post-it cards. What I like to do is play a game where I draw out each one of these events, and with the team, and I'm on my own at the moment, so it'd be a bit boring, but with the team, pass the card to each person and say, can you do what you need to do with the information on that card? So if we think about it, we've got an event and it needs to trigger that we want to start a payment process. That might be processing multiple requests or a single request. So where does that come from? What does that do? There needs to be some database somewhere or some data set somewhere of payments that we need to process. And the event of doing that will add that payment request onto a queue, a message buffer, a database, whatever, text file, who knows, not built it yet. But that's not relevant at the moment. So what does that look like? Well, at that point, I'm going to need some kind of like customer ID. I'm going to need an event ID to trigger the fact that that event happened. The type of event that it was, maybe needs to be recorded, and the date. So if I look down, this would be the data on the payment card. I've got an event ID, a client payment request command, and the date and time that it was done. Well, that's fine, right? That's okay, but I don't see a client ID or a case ID or a reference number. There's an event ID, but that's just to record this particular request, and it'll be like a random GUID, and that's to just say somebody somewhere made this event, somebody. So the first port of call is this card doesn't have enough information. I don't actually have a customer ID or anything on there. So can I make this bigger? It just doesn't seem to want to play ball. Just like that. I should be able to, yep, save changes. Change it. Okay. So here, if I go into this now, I should be able to do like a case ID. Let's call it customer ID, customer ID. And this is going to hopefully be a GUID. And what else did I say? What else did I say? Customer ID. Well, that's got the customer, the event, the date. The person who did it, I don't know. We might not need that for now. That's just to raise the event to say, I want something to process this. And then there'll be a module that will then be responsible for dealing with this data. And it's going to then do the action of getting this data and submitting it to the thing that's going to do the message. And these are individual responsibilities. If we look at these dashes, what I've tried to do is work out where the responsibilities lie. The person who's making the request, they're just making a request, and they should be able to do that without any kind of barrier to them doing it. The fact that they make a request doesn't mean it's going to be done instantly, and there's no guaranteed delivery. So then we've got this payment client system that's going to process this payment and move on, and then carries on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ignore the rest of the cards, because getting code out is better than spending, 4 months in a boardroom discussing what this might look like. Because once I've done this bit, I guarantee you it's going to change this bit. And if you have time and you've got the ability, you should be able to get these contracts looking good, just using the post-its and just, playing about and speaking out different scenarios. But I just want to get straight into coding something. So let's have a look at this event system where I'm just going to put events on. So I've got a contract here, interface type, that's going to have these event types, data and customer ID. Now types is going to be a string because we don't really have GUIDs in GoLang. So I'm just going to work on this bit. Now I came across a GoLang standards project, and this was just a way of mapping out a particular project. And I don't massively agree with it, but I don't disagree with it either. But I actually think that this would be useful to try and get a framework. One of the most difficult things with starting a project is starting a project. It sounds nuts, but that's why people procrastinate, right? That's why people spend ages going, oh, what about this? What about that? They go to boardrooms and they try and discuss the idea, and it, get product owners and data analysts and all sorts. And within an hour, within a couple of days, you could have coded something up really quickly, got it out, tested it, realized that your assumptions were completely wrong, and then tried again. Or you could spend ages just trying to guess and then realize that you were wrong and do it again. Just how much you want to waste your own time, I suppose. So I'm going to use this. So let's clone this. Clone. Let's go into my terminal where I'm a present working directory. I think I'm in GPL Taylor already. I am awesome source. So git clone, clone, and I'm going to clone this into a project called Copper Monkey. So copper being a metal, monkey being an animal, and then color. No need to actually spend thousands of hours talking about how to name things. Just give them code names and then have some documentation that explains what them code names mean. Simples. So I don't think there's actually any files in here, any Go files. No. Okay. So we want to start off, right? Let's stay in here. Talk a file. Let's have a look at the folder structure. So I'm not going to go through this. Look at the website and check it out. So you've got commands, and you can put your app in here. And this bit is main application for this project. So what I like to do is I love to create commands using something like Cobra or something that accesses the code and allows me to interact with the code. I might put a API over the top of it in a Swagger API document. I might make it some kind of streaming system or some event-driven architecture. It doesn't matter. I still want to be able to run the commands on the command line. I still want to be able to access my code and run different scenarios just using the command line. And there's no problem with doing it. You build programs that help you interact with the app. You also might have an API that helps you interact with that code. You might also have an event stream that's listening to a queue that allows you to interact with the app. Command lines for me are by far the easiest. However, the world says what you should really do is build APIs and then interact with the APIs, because everybody understands how to deal with an API. And then your app code should actually talk to your API. That's technically the way you're supposed to do it. But for now, whilst we're just playing, let's just do something silly. Right, so if we have a look, we've got a command, we've got your app. Let's rename that. If I can, rename. What do we want? What do we call it? A copper. Let's call this monkey. Then we want a new file in there. Okay. Hello. New file, please. Okay, maybe not. So E. cmd monkey main.go. Right. Import. Nope. Jump in the gun. So on the format, just want to do a standard print hello world. There's a make file. Let's do let's build that. Now I want to put the data into build folder. So build. So binary into the build folder. I really need to work out how to do the autocomplete directory. So what we want to do is do a build. Build, output into build, and do. So run that. So that seemed to run, or that seemed to compile rather, I should say. Okie dokie. So run. Yeah, of course. So I want to build copper and I want to run copper because we might have a number of applications possibly. At the moment, I'm considering it just being one, but I want the ability to actually add multiple without it getting into a pain in the ass. So what have we got? Should have CMD, monkey. And then main. There's no output from just running it. So you showcase to just run it, which is a bit odd, I know. Okay, so we've got hello world. Could really do with a bit more meat on the actual template itself. I think I might actually end up creating a couple of different GoLang templates. I've got a lot of work that I've done where I've inserted like websites that use Temple and, you know, build up really pretty websites using HTMX. So it would be nice to actually have them as a template that I could reuse, because eventually I'm going to create a website for this. And I'll have to copy and paste or rethink about how I did all that work. Right, so what I want to do now is I just want to go into GoLang. You know, I've realised I'm just terrible at typing. And I try and I try and I'm doing like exercises all the time. But when I've got my mic and I can't see my keyboard, I realise how badly I am at typing. GoLang Cobra. Cobra. What should we do? Let's go to K. In fact, I remember GoLang Cobra website being awful. So install usage. It's a command line program. Yes, I'm well aware. A website that I can go to. No. Yep, there is. AP. Installing concept, getting started. Getting started sounds good. To click it by hand. So while you're welcome to provide your own organizational, typical Cobra-based application will follow the following structure: app name, command, then commands, and your main. In Cobra app, typically the main file is a verb. It's variable. It serves one purpose, just initializing Cobra. Lovely. So Cobra provides two programs that will create your application and add any commands you want. So Cobra provides its own program that will create your application. So here you can find more. Oh yeah. Do you know what? I don't use this, but I've seen loads of people starting using it where there's a Cobra app that you can use to generate all of this boilerplate code. Why not? You know? It keeps going dark and then it keeps going bright again. I mean, I know you don't really want to see my face, but do you know what? So you need to create a Bert main file and a root command file. You will optionally provide additional commands as you see fit. So let's create a root command. Cobra doesn't require any special constructors. Simply create your command. Ideally, you place it here. So if we just have a look at the folder structure, in fact, let's skim over all of this. Must have done, yeah. So, yeah, go get started. So, install Cobra. So, install Cobra. Error executed go get. Okay, why? Go get you Cobra. Module upgrade found, but does not contain package. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? I mean, really? This command will install Cobra generator executable along with the library and its dependencies. No, it doesn't. So let's try word, delete, run, execute. Let's get this. I just realized my key bindings aren't on. Oh, no, I don't want that. Oh, it's okay. Everything seems to be working. Got to be careful because my computer's, like I keep saying it, my computer's rubbish. Okay, go install Cobra. I should just be able to install the basic Cobra package. Yeah, so the command line, it just didn't work that time for some reason. Go to that window. So, like I said, I've never used the command line. I never, ironically, I'm building a command line to help me manage my own stuff, but I don't actually use the command line for Cobra that builds the command line. Hey, it's my life. I can do what I want. So what we've got an app structure, and I've got command monkey, and then I've got a main in there, which I think is all wrong. So we've got command monkey, which is fine. Do you know what? I can, like I said, I can do what I want. If I change this to say rename, let's say I'm going to just be daft, sell whole all message. Uh, Notification. Naming doesn't even matter because I'm probably going to delete the damn thing. But I'm going to have a notification here. We're then going to have in the command folder, we're going to have a main.go, and that's going to be the root skeleton of the package. So, and we're going to change the package stuff. So I'm just going to stick my hello world here for the meantime. Here we go. Okay, like that. This. And yeah, don't worry. Yeah, so I can change my current directory to be in that folder so it doesn't moan at me as much. But I think if we look at it, we've got the app name, then command. So I've got it the wrong way around, which is nuts because, you know, I got this as an app. So what I'm going to do is, Presley, I don't know how to create a folder. How do I create a folder? Directory maybe? No. Capital D. Trash monkey? No. Folder? No. Okay. So make directory cmd monkey cmd. Then let's come in here and let's, in fact, let's change our, if I write that, Right, buffer options set. Okay, off you pop. If I then what I want to do is move main into monkey. Move notifications into the command. Forgot now. Let's come up. Let's have a look. And we should have something now that resembles like the folder. This is why the command is so good, because it's a pain getting this just right. It just, you have to do it a lot. And this, you only set up these commands at the beginning of a project, which makes it a pain. So not quite sure what you're moaning at. So package load error, inconsistent vendor. Can work on that. Right, so I'm going to want this to run the standard path, which really is just running the execute for your command. And your command then is going to be something like this. So app command root. This is the root command. So what have I got? So build command system app, which is monkey command, and then we need a root in here. Do we? It says we do. So root command. So let's do cmd monkey cmd root. And we've got a root command and an execute. So if we take this and paste this in, we have now got a very basic root command. If I go back, let me just put this into Harpoon. Let me go back to main, put that in Harpoon. Should have the two files. Yep. Where that's coming from. Oof, that was slow. So this main, what we want to do here is just actually load up and execute the stuff. This is going to be our caller, and it's going to then link in all of the goodness. Let's delete that. We need to include commands. This is where I'm going to have to play about with the packages and look at a couple of examples and get the right naming and stuff like that, because this is way wrong. So path to your app, command. So app command, stuff that you do, add your commands here, then the main file doesn't say anything about needing them to be in different modules, and you've got the root here. It's just going to give you a very basic startup for Cobra. Then what you can do is you can then start adding flags and initialize stuff from your other commands that you've got and add them to your base set. But I don't think I've got the even the basics right yet. So there we go. Yeah, for instance, that add, and it adds the version. Then there's a command here for version, and these versions can be in their own separate folders, which gives you then this nice hierarchy of stuff and how it works. It does mean you've got things like command, file, command name, and it's a bit weird. Okay. This ain't gonna run, but let me just see. For one, my makefile probably needs to be updated because I've got build, go build. It puts the output there. How does it know what to build? Then we've got command monkey main. Oh, that should be right. Got install Cobra. That's fine. So just let's see if I can run this basic. So go build should be odd because I've not really got anything to build in that folder. Yeah. So we need to specify the folder of which our code is in. But let's see if I can run a run. Yeah, that didn't work. So what is it? Go run cmd monkey and Right, so what's getting problems with vendors? I've not even bloody got a vendor yet. All right, okay, of course. Didn't set up the bloody project, did I? So what we're calling it is GPL Taylor, and it is Copper Monkey. Right, and what have we got as Go? I think what 21. So look at Go version 1.21.6. So okay, let's do 1.21. GPL Taylor Copper Money. If only. You know, my head said monkey, my fingers typed money. If only. Monkey. Okay, right. Inconsistent vendor, please run go mod vendor. Okay. Go mod. Tidy. And it's not a portable package. Okay, that's fine. Go mod vendor. Can't run any of that until I fix the issue with the names. So main will be GitHub GPL Taylor. Copper Monkey command. So jump to definition is not working. So that either means the LSP is not working or it's still wrong. So go build output. Don't think we've got a bin, have we? Got build. I don't think we've got anything in there. Oh yeah, we do. Monkey. Or CMD. Monkey. And what have we got? Inconsistent vendor. GoLang GPL Taylor Copper Monkey. GitHub blah 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 blah. Mousetrap is explicitly required in Go mod, but not marked as explicit in vendor modules. Man, it's explicitly required in Go mod, but not marked as. Why? Oh, is ignore the vendor directory. Just do mod. It doesn't like it as a last argument. Find module providing package GPL Taylor Copper Monkey. Yep, monkey command. Module GitHub copy monkey. Yeah, maybe don't put the reference in at this point in time. I'm gonna have a look at another example. I wonder if on the website they actually have a working example. Just a very basic, simple. More documentation about flags? No. So GG. Come on. App service. Service land. No. Sample. No. Once you've got like the blueprint in place, it's just copying and pasting. Like I say, most difficult thing is to get started. That's the hardest thing, is getting it in that position. So, you know, it says above, give an example, didn't it, of what it should look like. App command, package, path to your app. So it literally should just be within, that's the root, that's the main. Inconsistent vendoring. So let's delete this. It's me off now. You've got a main that reads the command. You should then have a command which exposes root and execute. All of these are moaning about an inconsistent vendoring, but I literally do not give a crap about that. You're only in that folder. Mod, don't know what the hell you are. Right. I'll go build and CMD. So is explicit required in is well it should be. If I've added it, then why is it not in there? So it's required, but it's indirect. Okay. It should be explicitly required in GoMod, but not marked as explicit in vendor packages. So vendor modules, which is a text file anyway, but doesn't even exist. So there's the joys of copying and pasting somebody else's startup project, right? You can't even get the basics to work. So anybody in chat willing to help would be great. Okay, command. Oh, didn't want that. It's a weird shortcut. Yeah, really upset it. You got main, then you got root, and it that at the end of the day, this is it. But what I've got is I've got it at a higher level, so maybe that's the problem. If I have a look at GitHub radius, it's a little bit advanced, but if I look at commands, does that have a submodule? No, it doesn't. And then we've got rad commands. Does that? Nope, there's just a main. That main is then just got a simple root. Yeah. And that is using the full path. Okay. Command rad commands, which is that's the weird bit is commands, the name of the file commands. So maybe that's what I was missing. I wasn't going deep enough with my definition. So what I'm looking for is in the main, Just need to research that inconsistent vendoring. It's a warning anyway, so it's not like it's a problem. I think it's just a reference. You know, it's not hard coding the reference. It's got a soft reference. Can't think of the word. So what we got? github.com/GPL TMYLOR / copper monkey. Yeah. / and then we're in CMD monkey CMD. So couple of levels down. Right, that can I actually jump to definition? Yeah. No rule to monkey. What's going on there? Oh, I think that's shell returned. Great big bloody, you know, because of OBS, absolutely massive border round. So I actually can't see this bit. I think it says shell returned 02. Which, you know what, I can actually live with that. Date 17/12/16. God's sake, fingers. So, on copper, build copper. So I need to change that. Go build. Look at these. They've got different folders for building. So these ones are going to be ridiculous because build files can get out of hand very quickly. This project will get to this, but at the moment we don't need it this advanced. Just need to so go build arguments. Go command, go build. There's a what this is doing. Honest to God. It's like there's a barrier to entry, right? As if you're not allowed to come to the party unless you got these tools, and then everything else assumes you got that knowledge and them tools. So I at the moment can't get past this inconsistent vendoring. So let's work out what the hell this is talking about. Go mod, blah blah blah, and vendor modules, if present, must be in sync. Whenever Gold mod changes and there is a vendor directory, Gold mod vendor needs to be run to update the content of the vendor directory. All directory dependencies not marked as implicit in Gold mod are explicit and marked accordingly. That's what I said. Starting from Go 1.14. After running Go mod vendor, notices a new line added after the package reference. Yeah. Well, so here they're saying someone said they deleted the vendor, which might be an option, you know. So there's nothing in there apart from a readme. So how the hell can there be an inconsistency? I mean, it's just like nuts. Go mod vendor vendor. Okay. Go build. So monkey main imports GPL copper monkey CMD monkey command. And this is a program, not an importable package. Have I got a main in there as well? Okay. Remove CMD monkey main. I have. Oops. Whereas copying everything around, I didn't get a tree view. So oops. I just deleted that one instead of CMD main. No, there's no main in there. You lied to me. You lied to me, boy. So let's put this main back in. And the main needs to live at the root. So what we want is we want a new file, which is in CMD monkey. And we want that to be the main. And this is just doing something simple. We got the code here still. This one is just going to, what's this? That. But what we want to do no. So this has got command, and it's going to get the commands, and then that's going to get the commands from here. So we have got git hub com/GPL. Don't know why my fingers are typing the wrong thing. And copper monkey. /command. So copper monkey command copper monkey. So what have we got? We've got in the root, we've got command monkey. God, fingers. Monkey command. And that looks like it should be right. Main already declared through the import package. Okay. Main already declared through import of package. Copper monkey command. Monkey command. Jesus. Sorry, gang. I can't even get a basic app to run today. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. So I forgot. Have I got something that's really? We need to import a Cobra. Hoping IntelliSense would help me. Nope, you're not going to? Git hub. There we go. Thank you. Oh, it's not C#, Gary. Okay. It's 2 files, Gary. It's really not that difficult. So main already redeclared. It's not really not. Main already declared through import. No, it's not. It's gone. So import of that is a program, not an importable package. Have I got a main in there as well? So under where radius is split it out, we'll look at commands. Got a main. That's package main and commands. I think they're all just in main. Oh no, they're not. That's in package command. Some days. No, I have this where I can spend an entire day on something and you go to bed, wake up, look at it and go, what were you thinking? And like within 15 minutes, you've rebuilt everything and everything's working great and everything's right. And it's like your brain was just completely turned off. So if I go to root, if I change this, deleting word, change you to CMD, which I don't like. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And then of course, import format and OS. So format and then OS. And then like that. Okay, I think that's all the buffers cleared, I think. Let's go to main. And now we've got CMD. And then when I jump into here, jump to definition, it goes there. Wow, apologies, gang. Just absolute garbage. Just honestly, anyone who's watched this to this point, just sorry. Like I say, some days, what was it? Some days you are the dog, some days you are the tree. Love that saying. So now, if we build this, oh, I need to fix the build, don't I? Let's do this. Make, no, I've not fixed it yet. Go build command monkey. Output is into the build folder. Uh, um, using Go, how can I select the output for build? Should understand what I'm talking about. So go build all output path. That's it. I thought that's what I did. Using Go build is using to compile a Go program. So the output path specifies the output directory and file name for the build program. Replace output with the desired file and path. Okay. Okay. In fact, it's probably in there already. Yeah. name must be a Go file. No, I don't want output to be a Go file. I'm not generating Go. Honestly. What is wrong with the following? So build is used to compile. I know this. I mean, what the hell? Like I say, some days, then path to the Go source, then O to the output. Have I put a 0 in or something? Freaking hell. I just give up for the day. Honestly. Go build the command, the code that you want to build. It's not rocket science. So where did you put that? Probably put it in the root, didn't you? Yeah. So if I run main.exe, I'm going to get like nothing. But if I did I put help in there? No, I didn't even print out anything. If root error, pausing. Go build. Should replace main. And I think what should happen now is I should have some output, right? Yeah, hello, Hugo, there we go. So that's the root, that's the like its default that it does. So we got there, I mean, bloody ridiculously painfully slow. Apologies. But we got there eventually. Where we've got a command, we've got monkey, which is going to be my basic CLI for doing stuff. We've got a list of commands, and that will be things like the stuff that we're going to do. So at the moment, in my design process, I'm only going to worry about adding an event, which is triggering for this customer to get a payment request. And I don't care how that's done, I'm just going to stick that into a database, but that's what this command is going to do. Well, how it does it, where it does it, blah, 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 is all related to the module that I'm going to build, which is the thing that's going to be attached to that command. and eventually would be attached to an API, and eventually be attached to some event-driven system. But we'll get there as we move along. That then is going to do this other stuff, but we're not there yet. And what I'm going to do is take the learnings from this and change the next step. In a great world, all of these steps would be done by 4 or 5 different teams, and it would all come together in some glorious system. But that is difficult because it needs your teams to align with each other, like a scrum of scrum. I'm just saying. Or a chapter where your leaders speak to each other and discuss pain points about this data set. For instance, you didn't pass in the customer ID numbnut, so I've got no way of knowing what the bank account and sort code is that I need, that I'm being told that the other people upstream need. And you get this problem where everything shifts left. Everyone's asking the person to the left of them for more stuff. So these people here end up becoming the bottleneck for them. They become the bottleneck for them, and it's a shitfest. So there are better ways of doing it by trying to architecture this using post-it cards and trying to work out what this stream looks like. But like I said, this is just a project that I'm doing on my own, so I can keep all of that in my head. When you're working with teams, you can't do that. So now we've got our main. Don't know why that opened like that. Now we've got our main. Its only job is to run Cobra. Cobra. If we look at that and jump to definition now, which is the nice thing we can do, is we can see that this is going to execute the root command, which is this puppy here, and that's going to print out the hello world. So if we like jump to definitions, we can see wherever that's being used. And of course, that's being used here on line 21 for root command execute, which is going to then run this. It feels like a lot of messing around for that to call that, to call that, to call that. Once you've got like 30 or 40 commands, all with different arguments, like I'm going to eventually allow this to import JSON files or a schema, or be able to just provide the parameters on the command line as to what the case ID and the reference ID and the zip code or whatever that's needed will all be provided as arguments. That's when this thing starts to come to life. These end up building a list of functions and arguments, which then become your data, becomes your contracts, which you then pass upstream to the other people who use this service. So what are we on? We're on 1 hour and 20, and the wife is going to come a knocking soon. What should we do? I would like to at least get one command in there. What should happen, or what I want to happen, is that the actual thing that runs is going to be something that's in your packages. And in the packages will be a list of things which are going to be toolings. So in packages, what will probably happen is I will have event payment service, pending client payment service, payment service, and I don't know, going to have payment service again because it will allow the same. So I need to think about that and maybe give a bit more thought as to what these two things are. Actually, it's going to be external payment service. So it's not for us. Basically, oh yeah, it will. So external payment service will be a system that will take this data and submit it and process the data that comes back. Maybe that should just be in there, right? Do I need to send that off? It's not for now. It's not to worry about now. But either way, these packages and these things will be in this folder here, which will be called and linked to here. So I'll have a reference to the packages, which will then run the function that will run from here, which will allow me to have really clean packages that I can reuse in APIs. See how it all coming together? See how, you know, luckily an hour and a half of getting the basic bloody project set up. All of this now will start to come together. If there are multiple teams, I would get them all to be working in this package folder. And all I would need to do is mount the commands to the appropriate interfaces that they've exposed, or functions that they've exposed, which you could potentially predefine here as a list of functions that this system is going to uphold. So like here, I've got a command, client payment request command. That's the command. So we could say CMD is client payment request. Let's put that underneath because it might do other commands. And then this will have commands. So I actually think that's a bad name. I think add client payment request. And it's not CQRS, right? Not yet. Anyway, so let's take off that. So payment request. So that's going to run that command with them arguments, and something somewhere will pick it up, and its job will be to save. So outcome, save, results, request to, let's make one up, Cosmos. So of course I just, made this up. It could be anywhere. It looks like there's a space between the M and the S. M and the O. Weird. Must just be a font thing. Save request to Cosmos DB. So the command, add client payment, this data is then going to save it. That's this event system. So, oh Jesus, what should it be called? Trigger payment request. So this is where I would potentially give it code names. So this could be called green. This would be blue, if I can write in it. So now I've got the system. I can rename this at any point, but if I call this green, we know what system we're actually talking about. So this gets around all the messing about. Copper monkey green is going to be this first part. Copper monkey blue is going to be that part. And as long as we can keep that consistent, the name, we don't have to worry about names, because at the end of the day, your customers and the people using the software don't give a crap what the internal code is called. They care that it works, right? So you can waste lots of time, and a complete find and replace on the GPL tailor / copper monkey / green can be done at any point. See the video I did on replacing unit testing. Just find and replace, and you've renamed everything, as long as your code is solid. Right, so like I say, an hour and a half in now. I think either I'll carry on with this tonight or I'll call it a day for now. But if I do an E to do insert create package, let's rename it properly, package pkg for green. Create commands for adding request to Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB. Think about what the hell? Why won't my fingers type what I want? Why do they insist on typing things that I'm not even thinking about? Think about where to store contracts. Interfaces. Structs. For want of a better word, DTOs. I need to think about where in the system these are going to go. So that's what I'm going to do on the next one of these. Just keep a note out if you're interested. Just make a mental note. I will be using the code word copper monkey in the video. So if you're interested in following these videos where I'm actually building a project, then just keep an eye on it. What I'll be doing next is creating that package called green. I will be adding commands and fleshing out the skeleton of adding the command and what data it looks like. But what I'll then do is using Docker, I'll set up Cosmos. I will create the tables that I need for this basic step, and we'll create the stuff for CRUD, create, read, insert, and delete of that request. Because not only do we want to be able to add requests, we might want to delete the request before it's been processed. It's wise that whenever we do something like this, we don't instantly process stuff, that allows people to just have a minute or two to undo them changes is always useful. But jumping ahead of myself, that's event-driven architecture and we're nowhere near that yet. What I'm going to do is build basically a monolith, and I'm going to write something that runs these commands and creates the request, processing, goes through the pipeline. Like I say, right now we're just on this very first bit, which is green, and we're going to work our way through adding these and playing about with it. And once we've got some actual structure, then create unit tests to then do TDD. And I'm going to see if I can show and demonstrate how to do test-driven development to actually do these things end to end, then mock the system out and so on. Going to take a while, that bit, but once we've fleshed that out, we've got something cool to go through. So as always, thank you for watching, and my name is GPL Taylor.